that service-based businesses must avoid if you are looking to grow your profit, if you are looking to grow your business um, as a service-based business, you must avoid these three trends. So this is what I see. Many service-based businesses think or believe that trust is not something that they have to worry about in their business. But most often, what I see is they wait till it's too late because customers may not complain, but they may not return either, right? And so, if you think the customer is not complaining, it doesn't mean that there's nothing wrong. You probably don't know of it, but I can guarantee you the customer notices when the experience is not the same because of who is involved. They know when you are not around. They understand that that particular location is not great when it comes to the experience. In fact, I have experiences where there are locations of certain businesses that I would not go to. And when that happens repeatedly, that's where trust starts to weaken before even revenue sees it. And if you are lucky, you are looking at 6 to 18 months before we begin to see anything on the profit and loss. So most business owners and operators, founders think the problem is, well, I just need to improve customer service. But often the deeper issue, the real issue, is because your business has outgrown or never had a service system to begin with. Because your business has grown, most likely, your team is bigger, you have more people touching the customer experience. Like there's more complexity overall, but the system in your business has not caught up yet, like when it comes to the experience. And so today I want to share with you the three trends that you must avoid if you are going to be able to grow your business, to be able to protect profit while maintaining the same level of customer experience as you were smaller in your business. So let's get into it. I'll get on a whiteboard here, and we'll just talk and walk through this uh, very well. So, the first thing that we must understand if we're going to avoid these things as a scaling service based business owner, founder, operator, whatever that looks like, right? For you, we have to understand this that good people, good people are not enough. It's critical. We have to understand that good people are not enough. And why do I say this? Oftentimes, what I hear working with these business owners, leaders making 2 million to 10 million, for example, what I hear is, I wish I had better people. I don't know, for some reason, my people are not following through. And they think they have a people problem. They have a people problem. But that's not true. You don't have a people problem, you have a systems problem. Because when you think about companies that has great service, great experience, um, ultimately they have a retention system. But on the front end, looks like they are greater customer service and greater customer experience. I am curious. Do you think these people just go about hiring unicorns? Like when you think about any brand that you enjoy to do business with that you know are great at the service and the experience, do you think they just go about hiring unicorns? Absolutely not. The issue is when they hire these people, they do such a great job to ensure that they have the right systems and they understand what is expected of them every single time. And this reminds me of a great quote by Walt Disney where he said, "We don't put people in Disney, we put Disney into our people." That's the kind of mindset. So it's never really about people, it's really about the systems that we bring them into. And so if you are thinking, well, I mean, this is not an issue for us. If I get better people, this will solve it. Then I mean, you're better off just leaving and not even spending your time here because you're not going to get anything from this. Because your people are not the problem, your systems are, and I'll show you why. So the first thing is we have to understand if we are all on the same page. We have to, if we know that good people are not enough. And the reason why I say that is a good person will struggle inside a bad system. That's just a fact every single time. So it's not because your people are bad, it's because perhaps you have not built the right systems for them. Like they don't know what great looks like. And that's the first thing. Like there's there are no standards. There are no standards. So the first thing you must avoid is to ensure that you have proper standards. You have proper standards. If the standards are unclear, okay, it's going to be hard for you, for your team, for your company to deliver it consistently because no one know what it is. And so when you think about customer service, the mistake most leaders make is that they think it's common sense. So I'm curious, if you think it's common sense, how are you not going to be inconsistent? It's only bound to happen. But you must first clearly define what great looks like. Because if you don't define it, they are going to decide it. And that's what you are doing to your team every single time when you're not defining what great looks like. Because no one knows what great looks like. And so everyone is trying to figure out what that means, what that is. And the main mistake most leaders make is thinking that customer service is common sense. It's not. It's not. We have to understand that what looks great to you looks completely different to someone else. And so that's why you have to clearly ensure that you have the right standards in place. What is expected, what is not, what is right, what is wrong, what looks good, what doesn't, um what is expected. Like it comes down to training, yes. It comes down to training, absolutely. But not training only, but education too. You have to educate them. You have to educate them on what a customer is looking for. You have to educate them on what a customer likes, prefers, right? You have to build a real system that makes it easy for the team to deliver it consistently. And so perhaps your standards are not clear, and that's why you are dealing with inconsistencies right now because no one knows what is expected of them. If I tell you be great, be kind, just take care of the customer, those are just words. Like, what does that mean? What do you mean by that? And I bet you if I go in your company and ask 10 people, I'm probably going to get about 8 different answers. And that's just because we all interpret things differently. We all come from different backgrounds, different experiences. And my experiences are dictating what looks good to me. I grew up in an orphanage in Ghana. My background, my perspective, my worldviews are completely different from someone who grew on the other side of the world. So what is great doesn't mean it's the same to me, right? Like what is great to me might be completely different from someone else. And that's why you have to clearly define what great looks like. And it all starts by building the right systems so your team can deliver it consistently. The second thing we have to focus on is if we build the right systems, right, by having standards, this is going to flow down, right, to consistency. It's just going to make it's going to make it easy to be consistent once we define a standard. But consistency is not a one department job. Consistency is a team effort. And so the next thing we must avoid is to ensure that handoffs, because consistency has multiple phases in terms of if like on the surface or on the front end, one department might be the ones like interacting with the customer, but behind the scenes there are a series of other departments helping to ensure that whatever the customer is looking for or needs happens. And so consistency is not um, like stuck to a department. There are various department or individuals involved in that, and so that leads us to ensure that whatever that looks like in your world, we have to improve the handoffs. we have to improve the handoffs. So um, I started off in the dry cleaning industry, and years ago, um, when I had the opportunity to become a manager, they asked me to go deliver clothes to the customer. So we did pick up and delivery. And so the driver drove, but I had to like be the one to go in the van, pick up the garment and deliver it to the customer or pick it up, whatever we're doing that day. And I remember one time I had delivered a dress to a customer who had nothing that week. That just opened a Pandora's box because the customer is wondering, wait, and see, I'm glad she brought it back. I'm glad she brought it back because that would have been a claim. It was a very expensive dress. And what happened is now the customer is thinking, wait, if I didn't have anything this week and they deliver someone else's dress to me, what are the chances that they've done the same thing to me in reverse? Okay. So the customer now comes going through their closet thinking, wait, am I missing any garment? Luckily, we're able to prove to them to know and understand that they were not missing anything, right? Because we had great tracking system technology, cameras everywhere to track everything that came in and went out. Now, before I was put in this situation, I was training to become a manager. I didn't get a concept that we all have customers internally. That the guy in the back doing the cleaning is my customer, the driver is my customer. Because when I started and I was marking clothes, getting the soiled garments ready for them to be cleaned or delivered, I'll have the drivers come to me and say, hey, you entered this wrong, you put it under the wrong customer, or the customer didn't want us to deliver anything this week. Or the guy in the back who was actually doing the cleaning will come to me and say, hey, you put this in the wrong bag. The customer wanted starch, but you put it in no starch, or vice versa. At the time, I didn't get it. I was like, what's the point? I still dry cleaning, right? Or I didn't have a good attitude about it. And it was until this incident happened, that's where I understood. The incident with the dress, that's when I understood that the driver was my customer. The guy in the back in the heat during the summers was my customer. And they were counting on me to ensure that I do my job so they can do their job. So internally or externally as well, we can serve the customer better. But that's the kind of mindset shift I didn't have then. And so if you are going to elevate and improve the experience, you have to understand the handoffs are critical. And in your world, whatever that looks like, it's not just one department doing all the work. Everyone is counting on each other. So it's really important that as you define the standards to improve the consistency overall, make sure that you clearly align the team to ensure everyone knows what is expected of them and how to ensure that they know their roles and how important that is. The reason is if you don't do that, customers only return to experiences that they trust. So building the standards is great because that is going to help improve consistency. That's what the customer is looking for. But if the handoffs are not clear and clean, it's still going to be hard to maintain consistency because any breakdown at the front line of your business is a direct reflection on the whole company. The company does not see your department. The company does not see which person messed up or who didn't show up or who put it in the wrong bag. In my case, whatever that looks like in your world, the customer don't care about that. The customer only cares about their stuff getting done on time and they can trust that you can get it done. That's what matters. That's what matters. Now, finally, as we've improved the standards, helping to improve consistency, and made the handoffs clean, right? Clear and clean, because then we can then continue to maintain our consistency where everything flows through the standard, right? It's all connected. It's all connected. But once all this is done, we have to improve the employee experience. We have to improve the employee experience. we have to improve the employee experience. And to do that, we have to get this. And oftentimes it's crazy. Like leaders and teams want, or leaders want their teams to have clear standards. They want to improve consistency, which is the main thing. But these are the people doing it, right? The employees. But oftentimes, leaders, okay, want their team to care, but don't show them they care. You want your team to care, but you don't show them you care. That is just not possible. Like, your people are the driver of the experience in your business. Like, research has shown this, that employee engagement scores are oftentimes the least among sales, right? Among sales and service team members. Now, why is that scary if you give it a thought? Right? If you give it a thought. Oftentimes we we put customer service in a department, right? Talking about making the handoffs clear and clean. Um, we put it in a particular cubicle or a department, and which people are interacting with the customer the most? It's oftentimes the sales and the service team members. So if they are the least engaged in the workplace, that's a problem. That's alarming. And that should trouble you, because if this person who interacts with your customer the most is not engaged, the experience is probably not going to be the best. And that's just a fact. And I love this quote by Simon Sinek, because all this comes back to leadership. That's what it is. And I think sometimes leadership is thought about in reverse. We think we should, um, or leaders think, well, they do what I tell them, right? I want to improve my culture. I want my culture to be better. But culture flows down. Culture flows down, not up, which means culture starts from the top. Culture starts from leadership. And so I love this quote by Simon Sinek, that leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of those in your charge. Leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. That's such a powerful quote, because then that changes everything in how we think about taking care of those in our charge, those who interact with our customers, those who deal with our customers the most. Are we giving them what it takes? From the beginning of this conversation, have we given them the standards, the tools, the training, the education that they need? Have we helped them truly understand what a customer wants, what a customer needs? And do they have what it takes to be successful? Because it's not just about shouting commands, it's about ensuring that they are successful. We help them to be successful. And that's the responsibility of leadership. It's the responsibility of the organization to help them, to help the employees be successful. And so that's why it was important at the beginning of this conversation when I said you don't have a people problem, you most likely have a system problem. The only way your people can be consistent, the only way your people can perform, the only way your culture can improve is by ensuring that you, as a leader, is taking great care of those in your charge. So, if you are going to maintain consistency, service consistency, raise your revenues and protect your profits as you grow as a service-based business, it's important that you understand this. This is probably going to give you some ideas, some thoughts, but please do not go and just train your people. Oftentimes, the next best solution is, oh, we need more training. We need to train our people. Oh, we just need to improve their customer service skills. It's not a one-time thing. I once heard a consultant say one-time training is like deodorant. It wears off. So before you train, you need to ensure what you need to train for and train on, train about. And so that's why I created an assessment, a free assessment. I think that's where you need that's what you need. We first need to have a diagnosis of where the issues are coming from, what the issue is. And so if you're serious about building standards, building service that maintains with your growth and it's consistent, it's predictable, because to the customer, inconsistency is a risk. So if you want that, then the first step is diagnosis. I'll leave the link to the assessment in the description, in the comment, wherever you are watching this from. And it takes about 3 minutes, 5 minutes max, right? 15 questions, easy, simple, straight to the point, but it gives you a customized score and a clear direction on what you need to do. It's like some of you are going to be in the red zone, the yellow zone, the green zone. Like it's really, it gives you a customized score and a customized plan as a result. So highly encourage you to take it if this is what is important, and if you want to ensure that your team is delivering at a pace and at a level that is consistent with what you dreamt of, or what is consistent with what customers have come to expect from your brand, then the assessment is your first step to ensuring that happens. Any questions? If there are no questions, I will be respectful of your time and we will get out of here. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? All right. Well, have a great day and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you soon. And also always remember this: every customer you keep is a competitor you beat. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.